got a smile that it seems to me reminds me of childhood memories when everything was as bright as the bluest sky. Now and then when I see your face, it takes me away to that special place. But if I stare too long, I probably break down and cry. Oh, 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 sweet child of mine. Oh, 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 sweet child of mine.
I want to warn you that I don't know who this singer is. I just played this morning and I liked it. I have no idea who it is.
Her hair reminds me of a warm, safe place where as a child I hide and pray for the thunder and the rain to quietly pass me by. And she's got eyes of the bluest sky, as if they thought of rain. I hate to look into those eyes and see an ounce of pain. Oh, 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 sweet child of mine. Oh, 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 sweet child of mine. Oh, 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 sweet child of mine. Oh, 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 sweet child of mine.
Good, isn't it? I have no idea who that is. Look, do you remember you were saying? Do you remember you were saying yesterday there's something wrong with my throat?
Taken by trees. Or taken. I think the group's called Taken by Trees.
Taken by trees.
I think that's the name of them. Yeah.
Did somebody tell you that, or was it just a stab in the dark?
No. I've heard them before.
You've heard them before?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you're right. You know, I really don't think it's a group called Taken by Trees, but I'm prepared to accept that.
That's
not having anything to offer myself, I accept your explanation. Maybe perhaps someone out there would have some idea who that is. Sweet Child of Mine, that's called. I loved that. I played that this morning. I was quite taken by it. Do you know what I'm just looking
Taken
at?
by Trees.
Ah,
Thomasina said I'm right.
does she?
Yeah.
How come you know that?
It's one of
How
those
do you
wee
know
things.
that? That's not like you to know anything that's alien like that.
A man lost his wee dog last night in the
That
River
was recorded after 1964. How did you possibly know anything about that?
in the Riverdale area of Belfast. A little collie cross type dog, black and white, about 14 years of age, and going grey around the mouth.
As indeed you are yourself. And where was this lost?
Riverdale, do you know the Riverdale area of Belfast?
Indeed, I'm quite familiar with it,
Yeah,
yes.
well, it's in around
Do you know
there.
what I'm just looking at here? And this is probably nothing to do with anything at all. It just came to my attention. I'm looking at Madonna's world tour itinerary. A man sent it to me. Of all the places she's playing, my God. She's starting on the 29th of May and will continue all over the whole world until December. That would kill anybody. Did you see her at the Super Bowl, at the interval?
No, but I hear people giving out about it. What happened?
Well, it given out.
Is
well,
it like a Diana Ross thing with the World Cup?
No, it's not like that. The Super Bowl is just about the biggest thing in the world.
So's the World Cup.
I know, but it's bigger than the World Cup.
No, it's not.
The Super Bowl Sunday is bigger than the World Cup.
No,
the
it's
World Cup final.
not.
Yes, it is.
It's not.
In terms of people tuning in for that specific purpose.
Maybe in America.
Will you stop arguing with me for once?
In
Will you
America,
please
it probably
listen to-
is bigger. But not. This is a world global event, let's face it. That's why they called it the World Cup.
I never knew why they called it that. Is that why they called it? Because it's a global event?
Yeah.
That's why they called it the World Cup?
Yeah, that's why
I
they
never
call it.
thought
No,
of
I know
that.
you wouldn't have thought that.
Anyway, it was very spectacular. It's very opulent, and people would have given out about that. People like you would have given out about that. People who have no sense of the spectacular.
Well, tell me what
theatricality of
happened,
it.
and I'll give you an honest opinion if I can.
I can't tell you what happened. I can't describe a performance on stage and then ask.
Oh,
you
was it she was singing?
That's what Madonna does. She sings.
I thought maybe she was to start the game. She was to throw
What, you
in or
throw
something.
throw the
Yeah,
ball. What do you think?
yeah.
Is she Fowler O'Doherty?
Well, I thought it was something like that.
Throwing in the ball to get, no, boys, I'll throw the ball in now, put her in the onion bag. No, that's not the way it works. It's
So it was
not
just a
Gaelic
performance.
football.
So she had a bad performance at the Super Bowl.
She didn't have a bad performance. She had a spectacularly wonderful performance, which was the height of opulence, which is why probably people that you know didn't like it. Anyway, I'm just looking at this, and she's in Dublin on July, just for the benefit of the people who are interested, and I think I would go to that. I'd like to go and see her. I'd like to see that show. I like those big shows. I went to see Cher one time, and I went to see...
Sunday night at the London Palladium?
no.
Did you ever go there when you were living in London?
London Palladium?
Yeah.
Oh, no, never.
Did you not?
Never.
Were you never inside the Palladium?
No. Why would I go there?
Just thought maybe because it's the Palladium and you living in London, you'd say, I must check this place out. I've heard so much about it.
When I was living in London, I only ever went to 4 plays and 3 musicals. The musical I went to was as a
Miss
matter of fact,
Saigon, you walked out
no,
of.
4 plays and 3 musicals. That's it. And of the 2 plays and one of the musicals, Conleth Hill was in them,
All right.
and that's the reason why I went, because actually he's starting in the Lyric on Friday night with a play called Uncle Vanya, Brian Friel's version of Chekhov's Uncle Vanya, and that'll be interesting. And hopefully, maybe I'll talk to him on Friday morning if he's sober. Anyway, not that he's got a problem, of course, like you or I. He doesn't have a problem with drink, but it's notoriously difficult to get actors to come in after the first night because they're always kind of wired up and they like to lie on in the morning. Anyway, I'm going to try and get him to come in because I admire him greatly. And I went to see him in Stones in His Pockets. I went to see him in that Stone the Crows, is that what you call it? It was the Trafalgar Theatre with Jimmy Nesbitt. And I went to see him in the best musical I've ever seen is The Producers. He played a wonderful part in that. And the other 2 plays I went to see, the other play I went to see was Glengarry Glen Ross, which was wonderful. And the other musical I went to see was Miss Saigon, which was a little cack.
Yes.
And Les Miserables, which I fell asleep in the middle of. I went home at the interval. Anyway, so I don't know why I'm telling you this. Because
Remember the job I had? Jimmy Nesbitt. Remember Jimmy Nesbitt was a guest on your show, and it was a night after. Just what it brings
I
back
know
to
the
what
job
you
you had.
What? What was the job?
Getting him here.
I get them in Belfast, and he said to me the night before, he says, "Your job is get me out of bed."
And
I
you
says,
did.
"What?" He says, "You all right? I'm in here in the morning, whatever time it was, 11 o'clock or something like
That's
that."
right,
He
yeah.
says, "You have to get me out of bed. That's your job."
And you thought that was easy.
I thought that's okay. Well, I'll give you a ring. You're right.
Little did you know. Anyway, I don't think we should tell that story. Listen to me,
I think it was all right.
Well, some of it is. Anyway, the bits that we talk about are all right. No, Jimmy's great. He's doing very well now. Did you see the photograph?
Is he still in thing?
I don't know if he's still in thing or not, but I seen a
He's
very.
out there for a year.
I
isn't
saw a
he?
little trailer on somewhere in the cinema. He's actually plays a goblin in this new movie, Bilbo Baggins, and he's quite weird looking. It's a departure from, let's just say. I saw him in a movie called The Way with Martin Sheen. He
I
goes
want to
on
ask you something.
Santiago de Compostela thing. He ruins the movie, and I have to say that he ruins the whole movie because there was this Santiago de Compostela. You know, it's the pilgrim route in northern Spain, and it's like 600 to 1,000 years old. And the story was that this gentleman, played by Martin Sheen, son went on it, and his son was killed. So he decided to get his son's ashes and walk along the pilgrim route in memory of his son and complete it. So he meets this girl who is very, very dodgy indeed, very attractive, as indeed many dodgy women are. So they walk along, and then it's great. There's a great atmosphere, and it builds up lovely. And you say, this is going to be a great movie. And then they meet Jimmy Nesbitt, and he destroys it because he's, what about you? Ruins it completely. Anyway,
I want to ask you something.
go ahead.
Now, you know, I'm not a
What
great,
about you?
I'm not a great film.
Santiago de Compostela.
I'm not a great film goer. I don't like the.
You don't like anything as far as I
No,
can
but
see.
there's a reason. No,
So you don't like anything?
There's a reason why I won't go to the cinema.
I know the reason. You have to pay to get in.
No, it's not that.
What?
I will not. I will never go. I will never ever go to the cinema again.
It's since you saw Barbara Stanwyck's breasts.
No, it's not
That
that.
scared you.
No.
What?
It's as long as people eat popcorn
Ah, don't be so
and
stupid.
sweets. As long as people queue up to get big buckets of popcorn and trays of Snickers and things like that and take trays into the cinema, I'll never be inside a picture house again.
Why don't you just ignore them?
Because why are people here pretending to be Americans?
They're not pretending to be Americans.
That's
They're
an American thing, and I don't fault the Americans. That's how they started off going to the movies. We're copying the Americans.
No, it's because
We are copying the Americans.
It's because we want to be as fat as they are. It's a reasonable ambition.
And I will never go. But this is what I want to ask you. This is the first time ever I'm looking forward to seeing a particular film.
I can't believe it.
Yes.
Tell me what that movie is. Then we may all rush to it. What is it?
But how am I going to see it?
You'll have to go and see it. You'll have to wear blinkers. Tell me what the movie is, and I'll describe how you can go and see it. I know ways to go and see movies without watching
you?
people eating. What?
When we were in America, when you were doing your marathon,
Yes.
it was just about to be released.
Will you tell me what it is?
Come on, guess.
Liam Neeson, The Grey.
No.
That's about him.
Hoover.
Hoover? J. Edgar. Don't go.
Is that right?
Don't go.
That's what I want to ask you.
Because you can't believe the character. The makeup's bad.
Eh?
You can't believe the character.
You've been reading about this, or did you see it?
I saw it.
Oh, did you see it?
Yeah, the
Where?
makeup is bad.
Pray tell, where?
I saw it in America.
Oh, no, you didn't.
No, I didn't.
No, you couldn't have, because it wasn't released.
It was released.
It wasn't.
I was in America 2 or 3 weeks longer than you were. It was released then.
It was released.
It's only released now. It's released
It
now
was
here.
released at the end of November.
Don't be silly.
It was released at the end of November. You didn't see it.
I must have saw it on a plane then.
You didn't see it.
I did see it. It's all about a fella that has
We checked out the date and we said, look, we're not going to be here for the release of that. When we stood looking at the big billboard after you come out. Remember the time when you enrolled in your marathon? Do you remember you were down? You got your wee vest and your
How can I ever forget?
You know that big place, wherever it was.
How can I forget?
And we come out, there's a huge big billboard, and we stood, me, you, and the others, when we stood and we read it. And he said, look, we're going to miss that. We'll be away.
I saw it then.
So how did you see it?
I went to see it.
Where?
I saw it
Not
in
in America.
Santa Monica.
No, you're confused.
I'm not confused.
You are. You didn't see it.
I saw it,
It
in
wasn't
Santa Monica.
released.
It was. It was released. This is Los Angeles. I saw it. The makeup is too heavy. When he's an older person, you don't believe it's just a man wearing makeup. It's no good.
But
Anyway,
what about the actual story?
you know the story.
No, but how far do they go?
He dressed up as a girl.
Did he really?
Well, I did. I don't know about him. Madonna is appearing in Dublin on the 24th.
You're telling me it's no good.
I wouldn't bother. It's the
I don't hate
24th.
anything.
I was bored in the middle of it. The 24th of July, Madonna is appearing in Dublin at the Aviva Stadium. And also, right, I watched the third of the Billy plays last night because I have them on DVD, and you can't buy them on DVD, but I had a wee little preview copy. And
Hugh's on one, by the way.
I noticed that a lot of people watched the first Billy play. It says in the paper, a lot of people watched the BBC Two, a huge audience for BBC Two. Because if it had been on BBC One, of course, it would have been a bigger audience, but it was on BBC
What
Two.
about Mrs. Brown's Waynes? The audience it got the other night?
I know, but you see, that goes to show how stupid people are. Now, you see, the thing is that BBC Two people don't go to BBC Two because they don't know where it is because there's no Davina McCall on it. But if you get a huge number of people going to BBC Two, it means they're striving to find the thing. Yeah. So a huge number of people watched the first Billy play. And I thought, too late to talk to Billy. The next one is on next Sunday night. And this features the introduction of Uncle Andy, Mark Mulholland. And there's a special tribute to that. Do you remember Mark Mulholland? Mark Mulholland, of course, is gone now. And he was great as Uncle Andy. And parodied, of course, by the Hold the Wall gang. And you know what happened to them. So what happened was that he used to ring this. I don't have to tell you this because you know. He rang this program on a regular basis.
Yes.
And the last interview I did with him was very funny. He was talking about Tom Cruise and about Tom Cruise beating the donkey and all. And he made Tom Cruise stop and he messed up the whole thing. He was talking about being in these big movies and all. Yes. I think it was the last time we talked to him before he died. So I'm going to try and find that. It's about 11 minutes long. I'm going to play that interview on Monday morning after people see that the night before. But anyway, I watched the third to play. There's three of them on. There's one on next Sunday night and there's one on the Sunday after that. And of course, every day this week at 5 to 12, there's a thing, little people talking about what effect that play had on them. Anyway, that's another thing. Anyway, I was talking about the first programme. There's always a feature where somebody's standing ironing or somebody walks into the house looking around them and the radio is on. And you hear people on the radio. Now, the first programme, who was on?
We heard it. Seamus McKee.
Seamus McKee. The second programme, you haven't heard that yet. No. It's on Sunday night. It's Walter, whom we discussed with the Fat Boy, and Paddy O'Flaherty talking like that. The third programme, which is on Friday, there's two other men on. Who are those men?
You?
Not me? Far too young to be on that. It's 1983, for God's sake. 1984, I was hardly out of kindergarten.
1980.
One of them was Sean Rafferty. A genre.
Right.
Talking about genres. Who was the other one?
Well, let me guess.
Go on, guess. Other man on the radio, and he was talking to Claire Connery. Talking to her about her fantastic cooking skills. Claire Connery must have been about 8 at the time. So he said, Claire, now we have a word from Claire. But lovely, I'm salivating already. But this is not him. I'm not...
George Jones.
No.
Michael Bagley.
George can't salivate. Michael Bagley's TV man, not him. Michael Bagley is on television exclusively. Was never on the radio really much worth talking about.
See,
John Bennett.
You don't believe
Yes,
me.
indeed. John Bennett and Sean Rafferty on the third programme. John was talking to Claire Connery. But you see, this is all great. This is the way the world used to be before everybody went mad and watched Big Brother and everything. But you see, this is the way things are. So you're going to the movies then. Now tell me this, are you going to go in by stealth? Or are you going to go...
I'm not going. That's what I want to ask you, how can I see it? And I wish they would put a ban. I'm going to see the First Minister.
Why don't you just wait for a month or two and then you can get it out on DVD and watch it in the privacy of your own home?
That's what I'm going to have to do.
There's
a call for you. But how can we get popcorn and sweets banned from cinemas and bring cinemas back to the way they used to be?
Well, people,
it's
young
like
boys,
a barbecue.
Young boys rolling down the aisle, wrestling, and people pulling at your hair, and all, people spitting on you and rubbing snot in your sleeve.
That'll be the next it. Barbecues and the
Is Emma back here yet?
No.
Well, ask her to fix that phone.
Who's that?
Oh, hello, morning. Hello, good morning. Sorry, there you are. Hello, yes.
Hi, Gerry.
Yes, who's that? I wonder.
Hugh from Bangor.
Yes, Hugh.
Gerry, tell you, I'm looking at wee great, and a wee all-night bunner for you in coal fire.
Sorry, would you try that in English? What did you say there? I missed that.
A great and an all-night burner for you in coal fire. I'm on the phone, Mum.
What's he saying?
He wants a grate and an all-night burner.
For a wee coal fire.
For a wee coal fire.
How could you? I can't hear. I don't understand what he's saying. Why can I not understand what he's saying?
Because you didn't have grits.
Did I not?
Oh, you did.
What does he want again? Tell me that.
No, did you grow up? No, you were. No,
of course I had a grate.
Of course you had a grate. No, but when you became a man, you had anthracite.
No.
Yes.
It was ringworm.
You had anthracite. I've never lit a fire with anthracite.
Did you have a range?
At home, yes.
We had it. That's what my father used to do. My father used to fit.
Did you have a range? You better involve Hugh.
No, never.
Never had a range.
Never in my life.
What did you have, Hugh?
Just a wee coal fire.
And you still have that, so it's adequate for your needs.
Yes, and there's a grate for it, but the grate has to be 18 inches. No bigger than 18 inches for it.
See,
what did he say?
He needs a grate, an 18-inch grate.
How come I have to ask you what he said?
Yeah, but the grate that the coal, that's what the coal sits on.
Yeah, but just the front of the fire.
Yes, the front. All right.
So you've been using
the basket inside the basket.
That's the basket.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
You're right. You need a basket.
And the grate and the wee all-night burner.
Well, do you see the grate?
Well,
The grate is the grate the wee thing that sits in front of the fire.
Don't be
yes,
silly.
that's right, yes.
Yeah, there you are. You don't even
No, it's
know.
not. He doesn't know either. The grate is
Well,
not that.
Well, what is the grate?
The grate is what the coal rests on.
He said that's the crib or something. What did you say it was, you?
Basket.
The basket.
What's
he said
the
that's the
grate then?
basket. I thought the grate was the thing that the coal sat
Oh,
on.
this,
No, I agree with you, Gerry.
what am I
thought
doing?
that's
I've
what-
been to university. What am I doing?
But your father installed them.
Well, my father, he was a range fitter.
Yeah, well, there you are. So you should know a thing or two about
But
them.
I do know. But
Well, what
I
do you call the wee
I
thing
just
that
don't
sat
wanna-
in front of the fire?
But my mother.
The wee thing that you...
I was thinking of my mother
you-
this
you
morning.
brush.
No, seriously, I was thinking of my mother this morning. Do you know what she always used to sing? No, I was going
Sing?
around. Maybe you might have heard me singing this morning, and you probably wonder why is he singing that. My mother used to always sing, "Shrimp boats are coming, their sails are in sight. Shrimp boats are coming, they'll be dancing tonight. Won't you hurry, hurry, hurry home? Won't you hurry, hurry, hurry home? Shrimp boats are coming, they'll be dancing tonight."
Ah, that's nice.
My mother used to sing that.
Ah, dear.
I used to sit and go, "More, mummy, more." And she'd
But
say,
anyway.
"Put some more coal in the fire."
The grate.
And how long have you been sitting in front of this fire, sir, if I may include you in this conversation?
Couple of weeks now.
How long have you been sitting in front of the fire?
A few years now,
40, 50? Oh, so what's the grate then? Is the grate not the thing that accepts the ashes?
That's what it is. Sorry, I picked up wrong. That's what it is.
That's the
you
pan.
saying?
That's the pan.
That's the pan. So
That's
the belly and the pan and the grate.
You
What
know,
was the first thing? The receiver. What's the first thing?
I
What
wonder
does the
what
coal
you-
rest upon?
To me, that's the grate, as far as I'd be concerned.
Well, what he said is something different.
I know.
What does he say? What is the thing that you put the coal on? The coal rests
He
upon?
says the basket.
The
I thought
basket.
You think it's a basket?
The
I thought
basket.
it was, yes.
And then the pan is what the rates. The
The
pan is what the
ashes.
ashes go in, and then you pull them
Yeah.
out. And the grate is the thing in front.
Yes, that's it.
I don't think the grate's a thing in front.
Well, what's a damper then?
Well, do you remember your fender? Had
Yes.
you
I've still one at home.
a fender?
Yeah,
Have you?
yeah. 1962, 4-string. It's worth a fortune, actually. Anyway, what does he want, this person?
The great and the wee all-night burner, please, Jerry.
You're looking for the grate and the burner.
But what's
All-night burner.
what's an all-night burner?
Put slack on it. Put slack on it all night. Put slack on the fire, right? And it all night.
Is he speaking? Is he speaking?
Slack.
Is he speaking English?
Well, do you see the slack? You see when you're making your slack, do you put water in?
And
Make-
we just pat and put it on.
But do you not put water on it and skirl it around with a shovel?
The old time, aye.
And then put it in and pat it down. You pat it
Aye.
down and make it yeah.
Damp it down, damp it down.
Damp
Yes.
it, damp
Yes,
it,
that's
damp
it.
it down. That's the
Pour
one.
water on the slack.
That's right.
No,
See,
we
this is
did
what
it.
I always do. You
Pour
get
water
a big
in the bucket.
you get a big roaring fire, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And then you put a lot of slack on it, and then you put water on the slack.
No, you put the water in the bucket.
But
You
then
write somewhere in the bucket.
You put the water in the bucket. You don't put the water into the fire.
Yes, you can.
You do not. You have to scooch it
You
up.
don't.
You stir it up in the bucket, don't you, Hugh?
I'm just
You do indeed, Sean, yes.
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave you to
No,
it.
don't.
Go on. Just talk on it.
There's a call on 2 for you.
All right, get him away.
No, stop. Where do you live, Hugh? Belfast?
Banger.
Bangor. In the Bangor area, you're looking for a grate and an all-night burner. Okay. All right, Hugh.
Thank you, Sean. Bye-bye.
Good luck, Hugh.
Right.
Right. 2.
What am I doing here?
2.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Hello, Jay. Sean, how you doing? Good morning.
We're fine, thank
Jay,
you.
my name's Kevin McAllister, and my in-laws have a fireplace showroom who could help that chap out who's looking for the basket and an all-night burner.
And where is this fireplace showroom?
Abbey Fires in the Shore Road.
Well, that's not too
Belfast.
far. Where did he say he was from? Bangor or somewhere?
Bangor.
Sure, it's only up the road.
You could probably get a bus. And is there much demand these days for the open fire?
Well, there must be, because look at the price of oil.
Indeed, yes. I'm sorry that
must
I ever
be.
had anything to do with the oil, especially when we're draining Middle Eastern countries. I mean,
Yes.
why not? I mean, there's nothing as good as an old fire, a coal fire.
Can't
And,
beat
you
it,
know,
Jay.
even though it makes your veins stick out.
Can't
And,
beat it.
well, thank you for that. Where is that again? Tell me where that is.
It's Abbey Fires, Shore Road, Belfast. It's underneath the M2 flyover, and I'll give the phone number there when you put me off the air. Jerry, could I ask you to do me a favour, please?
Yes, if I can.
My mother's going into Antrim Hospital today for an operation, and I'd just like to, if you play a wee song, anything of your choice.
All right,
to
well,
wish her all the best. Her name's Kay McAllister from Glenarth.
Yes, I hope she's okay. What kind of music does she like? I wonder.
Anything at all.
Well, I've got a wee thing.
A bit of Christy Moore would be lovely.
Christy, I don't have any Christy Moore here, dear.
Anything.
Here, you me saying here, dear?
I heard you say
Here, dear. Here, dear.
I called you dear.
No, it's just an expression. I don't take anything out of it. Okay, no, I've got a nice wee song here I think she might like.
I remember as a wee boy sitting in front of the fire, and when the fire was all slacked up, I remember asking my mother for permission to break the slack open. Is it ready to break the slack open?
Oh, you're some rebel, yeah.
He's showing his age there, Gerry.
He's all knees indeed.
Oh, but listen to me, Anderson. Do you not do that too as well? And you get you prise open the slack, and the flames would jump up.
He paints a lovely picture.
I don't.
Prise open the slack, and the flames would leap up. And always
Gerry,
right
if you
with
do
the
that
world.
for me, I'd really appreciate it. And as usual, a great show. Love
Thank
the
you
show.
very much indeed. Thank you.
So you couldn't go near the fire. You had to get permission to go near the fire.
Everybody should go near the fire.
No,
What were you, some kind of...
If your mother or father went to trouble of backing up the fire, you can't poke it too early.
I've always said that. Can't be poked too early. I've lived my life on that.
Rub the sleep out of her eyes and turned her back on darker skies. Said it's time to let it in. I can see you, so much better under big blue western skies. Walk the path with sunburned feet, drawn by a distant beat to the solitary shore of glistening sands, broken shells, 100,000 fare thee wells, and something new she could not ignore. I can see you, so much better under big blue western skies. I can see you, western rays were far too bright on that solitary shore of glistening sands, broken shells, 100,000 fair.
On 92 to 95 FM
and 1341 medium wave.
This is BBC Radio Ulster.
It's 11 o'clock, and with the BBC News, this is Keith Burnside. Ian Pearsley remains seriously ill in the intensive care unit at the Ulster Hospital. His family has spent the night at his bedside. Lord Bandside, who's 85, was admitted on Sunday. The former First Minister and DUP leader is being treated for a serious heart problem. Jonathan Craig, a DUP MLA, said his thoughts and prayers were with Dr Paisley and his family.
As a party leader and as a friend, he has touched not only myself, but I was just thinking about this morning. Actually, 4 generations of my family have sat under his ministry. So we're deeply worried and concerned, but our thoughts and prayers are with the Paisley family at this time.
The emergency services have been sent to Belfast International Airport after a plane developed technical problems following takeoff. The flight bound for Tenerife has been circling the airport while it awaits clearance to land. A 61-year-old man has been charged with making, possessing and distributing indecent images of children. Detectives from the Child Internet Protection Team at Gladys Drive in Belfast say he's also accused of possessing extreme pornography. The Historical Inquiries Team has rejected an allegation from the Sinn Féin MLA Gerry Kelly that former RUC officers are investigating cases they were involved in. Hundreds of retired officers have been re-employed after leaving with generous patent redundancy packages. The government spending watchdog is to investigate the PSNI's rehiring of retired officers as civilian staff on temporary contracts. Mr Kelly claims there's a conflict of interest within the HET.
I have given the dossier over. Yes, I am making that accusation. And let me say that the board has become very frustrated at the sort of lack of information, which is why we need to go to investigation here. I mean, our job is oversight and is to hold the police to account.
Sport now. Here's Grant Cameron.
Ireland flanker Stephen Ferris and Wales lock Bradley Davies have both been cited for separate incidents during Sunday's Six Nations match in Dublin. Davies was yellow carded for a reckless tip tackle on Ireland replacement Donncha Ryan, while Ferris received a similar punishment for his tackle on Davies' second row partner Ian Evans. The disciplinary hearings are scheduled for tomorrow. Ireland winger Tommy Bowe could be on his way back to Ulster after 4 years with the Ospreys, and the Honda TT Legends team is set to miss this year's Ulster Grand Prix in August because of a date clash with a round of the World Endurance Championship.
On to the weather, and with that, Cecilia Daly.
Any lingering mist will soon clear to leave a dry day with some brightness or hazy sunshine, especially for northern and eastern counties. The west will have more cloud, but it should stay dry. Southerly winds will be light, but will freshen slightly as the day goes on, and afternoon temperatures will reach 8 or 9 Celsius. A breezy night will follow with increasing cloud and some rain for the west before morning.
BBC News.
BBC Radio Ulster. Travel news.
In Bangor, the traffic lights aren't working at the junction of the Newtonards Road and Green Road, so take extra care approaching that junction. Meanwhile, the Drumbo Road near Lisburn is closed between the Hillhall Road and Tullyyard Road for roadworks. Moving on to flight information, and at Belfast International Airport, this morning's early flight from Liverpool has been further delayed to 12:35, while the 10:20 arrival from Liverpool is now due at 2:55. Anne Jordan reporting.
Travel news on BBC Radio Ulster.
On TalkBack with Wendy Austin today, are petrol prices highest in the UK? Why is that? What's being done to bring them down? And how far do you drive to find the cheapest? Since when did breastfeeding become nudity? Facebook are taking pictures down of women feeding their babies because it breaks their rules. And the Laird, who's cost us millions, in questions. We'll also be talking to the school that teaches its pupils to prepare to fail. And 200 years on, how relevant is Dickens today? Full of stories which echo the present day. But do you ever read any of his books? Or do you just watch it on telly? Looking for your views. Phone, text or tweet. Join me on TalkBack at 12.
Thank you, Wendy. I'm going to play one of my idents. Did you ever see my idents?
Never.
Here.
Gerry Anderson.
On BBC Radio Ulster.
What do you think of that?
Makes such a difference to the programme, doesn't
I
it?
thought so.
Yeah.
I like a bit of class.
It's a long, long way, 'cause I've been there before. It's a long, long way, and I've been there before. You probably won't take no advice from me. I never took none myself, you see. It's just when you get older, you like to pass them on, but nobody's listening. And it's a long, long way, 'cause I've been there before. It's a long, long way, and I've been there before. Why do we make the same mistakes year after year, tear after tear? Just when we've learned a lesson or two, it's the time when our lives almost through. And it's a long, long way, 'cause I've been there before. It's a long, long way, and I've been there before. I ain't trying to be no saint. Shoot, I ain't even often right. But I'm still here, fighting that good old fight. So the only thing I'll say, don't give up on your dreams, or they will give up on you. And it's a long, long way, 'cause I've been there before. It's a long, long way, and I've been there before. Thanks for taking time to listen to an old man. Your time is a valuable thing, and I ain't trying to preach, I'm only passing by. And I hope you like the song that I sing. And it's a long, long way, 'cause I've been there before. It's a long, long way, and I've been there before. And it's a long, long way, 'cause I've been there before. And I don't think I'm going there no more.
That was Sick Bag Willie.
Drag myself out of my bed. Remember what my mother said. She said, you got one chance in this life, so don't go taking chances. So I chose a safe path in this life. I had the good job and I played the good wife. I never had much, so it would seem I just coasted along, never chasing my dreams. So I'll take this dream of mine, and I'm gonna live it every day. I'm gonna leave the past behind, and I don't care if this dream will ever pay. No, I don't care if this dream will ever pay. I felt like a bird in a cage, couldn't be true to myself, had to make a wage. But it's in your blood, the man said, so follow your heart, not your head. So I'll take this dream of mine, and I'm gonna live it every day. I'm gonna leave the past behind, and I don't care if this dream will ever pay. So I had this dream of mine, and I said I'm gonna live it someday. But I'm just getting older now, but I can't let that stand in my way. No, I won't let this dream slip away. So I'll take this dream of mine, and I'm gonna live it every day. I'm gonna leave the past behind, and I don't care if this dream will ever pay. No, I don't care if this dream will ever pay. No, I don't care if this dream will ever pay.
nice song. That's Northern Ireland songwriter Emma Reid. And that's a song called, these tracks are mixed up a little bit. Hold on a second, just get that. All right, hold on a second. No, I can't find the thing. Where do things go when I put them down? That's a song called This Shadow of My Heart. That's it. Good.
Sylvia in Ballymoney wants to know the name of that singer you played immediately after the news.
Sick Bag Willie.
I don't believe you.
C6 Steve was his
it?
name. Yeah, C6 Steve.
Didn't
It's a song
sound
called...
like him. Didn't sound like him.
In Contemplative Mood.
Very good.
Excellent. He's a great singer.
Yeah.
And we started his career.
Yeah.
We don't get the credit for that we deserve. It's a long, long way. It's called C6 Steve from an album called Play It Again, Sam. Right.
A lady in your age looking Shrek toys. Where did you get them? The large Shrek toys, not the wee tiny ones. They're too dangerous. She says,
Will you
for
deal
the
with
child.
that? You can deal with that if you
Shrek
like.
toys in your area, if anyone can help. And
Tell-
there's a wee call for you.
Right. Tell that man he'll get his grate at a wee shop in the Shore Road about 300 yards before the Abbey Centre turn off. Just passing on the message. Hello, the Madonna person, and the other one is right about the World Cup being bigger than the Super Bowl. That's if it's numbers you're talking about, maybe, yeah, okay. Listening to you both talking about movies again and Sean's fear of black and white breasts, I wondered if you ever seen William Blatty's movie The Ninth Configuration. I've never seen that. It is by far my favourite movie, says Manny, but not too many people are aware of it. By the way, thinking that Madonna has talent is the first sign of being on the turn. No, Madonna has talent. She has talent. She's just a dislikable person, but she's just talented. Many people are, look at me. Look at the talent I have, and I'm so hateful. You'd agree with that, wouldn't you?
When did you come back from America?
Pardon?
What date did you come back from America?
Approximately November 6th.
No, you didn't.
If you keep asking me things and then doubt my answer, why
Because
bother?
you were running in America.
Oh, yes.
See now?
All right, sorry, what am I, some kind of memory man here? Okay, let's see. Well, the marathon was November 4th, okay, which was, what day was that, a Sunday? Wasn't it? Do you remember? You had your hands in your pockets and your overcoat, do you remember?
Yeah, it was
that was
a
a
Sunday.
Sunday.
It was a Sunday, but
So
I
the
don't know
5th, 12th. I came back on the 12th.
The 12th.
The 12th. I'm back on the 12th.
November.
Yeah, 12th of November. You'll find that whatever you call it, Hoover was released before the 12th of November.
That's what we're going to check out.
You see, there's no need to do this. If you believed me, you would have no need to do this. The only reason that you're doing this is to enable you to call me a liar.
I'm not calling you a liar.
No, but you
because
will.
Someone agrees with you. I've sent you in a thing there saying that the makeup it agrees with you entirely. The makeup in Hoover's terrible and spoils the film.
How would I know that if I hadn't seen it?
That's like someone you've been reading the paper or a critic.
Oh, you think I'm lifting stuff out of the paper and pretending that I've seen the movie?
Yeah, yeah.
The great is what you set your papers and coal on. You mentioned earlier about stones in his sockets. I think you'll probably find it. I think it's called Stones in His Pockets, written by Mary Jones.
Stones in his sockets.
Is your shoulder your socket? Or is your socket any place of bone, a joint?
Eye sockets, bone
you have an eye
sockets.
socket, but
You name it.
have you an elbow socket, for instance?
I really don't know.
No, neither would I. But I think you have a shoulder socket.
I think you might have, or else where would you put your shoulder?
Oh, you might have a hip.
Hip socket.
You might have a hip socket.
A hip pocket, maybe. Yeah. Just curious what you thought of it. Stones in his pockets. I thought it was a total load of crap. Isabel, I'm surprised at you. Stones in his pockets is a signal achievement. And it's one of the finest plays I think I've ever seen. I don't know why you would think a thing like that. And another person complains about the fact that I said that I fell asleep during Les Miserables and went away at half-time. He said anyone who would do that is either drunk or knows nothing about music.
What's the one with all the shoes on the stage? The play.
Stones in his pockets.
Is that Stones in his pockets? All the shoes, just a line of shoes.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
I thought, I saw it here in the Millennium Forum area. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I don't know. I don't know. Was it not? There's two guys. I can't remember who they were, but it was fabulous.
They were the touring version.
But it was great.
The version with Conleth Hill, the original version, was just wonderful.
Yeah.
Anyway, a man says we shouldn't mix turf with coal. Did we suggest that?
You did.
Did I?
I think so. I don't know. I didn't.
In a loose moment. I agree with Sean about popcorn. A girl I was beside at the pictures took 1.5 hours to constantly eat her popcorn. How annoying. Spoils the film.
It's terrible.
What's wrong with you people? Can you just ignore people and leave them alone? I mean, do you know something? If somebody was sitting beside me eating popcorn, I wouldn't even notice it. You know, what's
See,
wrong
I
with you
would.
people?
I would. I noticed them coming in. I noticed them.
And you see if there's
queuing
somebody people beside you, eating sweets and opening the wrappers, I wouldn't even notice that.
Oh, I
I'd be
do.
more inclined to say, "Give us one of your sweets there, will you?"
up. Oh, I hate that.
But
so
see, you don't know how to let live. You don't know how to just,
It's the person with the crisps as well to rattle every time the hand goes in. Rattle, 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 rattle.
Yes, every time the hand goes in, rattle, rattle, rattle. I fully agree with Gerry. This is the one you're talking about, the
There
makeup
should be
in
an
Hoover.
area in the pictures in the cinema for people who don't wish to eat.
There should be an area in the cinema for
closed-off
people
area.
who drink Coca-Cola and eat popcorn. There should be a post you could tie them to and big whips provided so that you could lash them. The makeup in Hoover was so bad it was distracting. Is that what you're talking about, that
Yeah,
one?
I think so, yes. Could we find out when it was released in America?
Why don't you find out? Why don't you use all your energies into
Was
finding
it-
that out?
anyone-
Because
was there
it'll be
anyone
good for the programme to be able to say, you're wrong, Gerry. When I am sitting here telling you that I saw it in Santa Monica, that is not enough for you.
No.
Because you're assuming that I'm lying. Any chance of when the show bands played Corain? Oh, that's a good song, which is better than it is, if you know what I mean. Yes, I know exactly what you mean. It's not a great song, but it's actually interesting. That song I played earlier by Sweet Child of Man, Taken by Trees, yes, a number of people have said that's the right one. There we go.
There's a wee call.
In the meantime, all your energies to finding out if I'm wrong, okay? Hello, good morning. Never mind anything else. That's the most important thing. Find out if the wee shite's wrong, okay? Come back to me, will you? Yes, to devote all your energies to that. And indeed, who's with us today? I can't see. Who's that?
Thomasina.
Thomasina.
at the corner.
Thomasina, make her do everything possible to prove me wrong as well, because it's important.
Can you find out, Thomasina?
Yes, she's
Can
ready
you
to
go on
talk.
the internet? Can you go on Google?
Go on the internet and find out when J. Edgar was
J.
released
Edgar
in
Hoover was
the West Coast. On the West
On the
Coast.
west coast of America.
It's called California. Hello, good morning, sir, madam, whomever. Hello?
Hello?
Oh, sorry, hello, that's a wee bit loud. It's not your fault, it's my fault. I've just turned you down a bit. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right. I feel put upon because people are determined to call me a liar.
Right.
I don't
Right.
deserve this kind of treatment because I always come in here with the best of intentions.
Yes, we know that.
What can we do for you today?
Well, I'm calling really to talk to you, Gerry, yourself personally.
Sorry, I think you're breaking up just a wee tiny bit. Could you repeat that? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
I'm calling to extend an invitation to you.
Yes.
We have launched a huge fundraising campaign for Knockavo Special Needs School in Strabane.
Yes.
It's called the Knockavo Needs You campaign.
Yes. Is that what did you call that big castle? Was it Knocknamo? Knocknamo Castle? Was that what that was called? That's not the same place, is it?
No.
Was that castle burnt down? Was that burnt down?
Needs. I'm not 100% sure on that now.
That's okay, no problem. But it's not the same. It just sounds similar. Knockavo. Okay.
It's the Special Needs School in Strabane.
Mm-hmm.
And we have numerous events organised in Strabane, Londonderry, all over, really by parents who have children attending the school out hard at work, trying to raise we need £100,000 between now and June. We have the Fir Trees Hotel in Strabane. John Kelly and John Duffy, both directors there that are right in behind our campaign and helping and working tremendously hard as well.
Good.
But what we have organised is, Gerry, a ball, a summer ball on May the 12th, Saturday, May the 12th.
Yes.
We have confirmation that the First Minister of Northern Ireland, Peter Robinson, and the Deputy Minister, Martin McGuinness, will be in attendance.
Oh, good.
The Education Minister and the Health Minister will also be there that night, and several celebrities. It's a red carpet event, champagne reception, 4-course meal, auction, raffle, etc. But we would, like you, would honored, in fact, if you would actually be our MC for the evening.
Oh, that's so nice of you to ask. Oh, that's nice of you to ask me. But alas, now, when you mentioned 12th of May, I will not be in the country, actually, unfortunately, because I happen to know that I'm going to go away that weekend. So I'm sorry. I'd love to do it if I could, but unfortunately, I'll be away. But that's going to be a big night. Peter Robinson and Martin McGuinness going to be there?
Yes.
Well,
yes.
Those are big guns.
That's a huge...
Sorry, maybe that's the wrong expression.
It's a big
Freudian slip there.
Well, that'll be in the papers.
As a matter of fact, no, just to distract for a moment, there's a big day here in Derry, Londonderry next Tuesday. The old army base in Derry, which was built, a wonderful place. It was built in 1841. It was one of the last, what they call star forts built in the world. And it's been renovated, it's been given to the City Council, and it's been opened as a recreation area and a place where all kinds of things are happening. Next Tuesday, Valentine's Day at 6 o'clock. And Peter Robinson and Martin McGuinness will be there, amongst and other people as well. And people are invited to go over that to take part in the opening. It begins at 6 o'clock, and there's all kinds of bands and music and all going on. So go over to Errington Barracks, Waterside in Derry, Londonderry, for 6 o'clock next Tuesday night. A night to remember, to be on until about 10 o'clock. And never mind bringing your girlfriend out for a bite to eat, save you a few quid. Okay, so you're doing this on May 12th. That's great. No, I'm sorry, love. I would gladly go down there actually, but alas, I know for a fact that I'm doing something else. But maybe
else, Gerry, while I have you on the phone, is there anybody else that you could recommend? Or is there anybody out there, any of your listeners maybe, that would know a good MC that would come and join us for the evening?
Well, do you know who's very good at that kind of thing? Sean Coyle, but alas, he doesn't travel in case he might have to buy a drink. But do you know who's very good at that? Paul Clark is very good at that. You should ask Paul. Paul Clark, UTV. There's people like the Fat Boy, but you want somebody human. I think Paul Clark's quite good. I think he does a lot of that kind of stuff, you know. Well, you should ask him. Who else in the BBC would be any good?
Paul Clark's
Big Alan Simpson.
Alan Simpson. Not in the BBC.
I know he's not in the BBC. Did you not hear me saying UTV?
No.
Well, what about? But ask Big Alan. Ask Alan Simpson.
It's not fair for you to put people, you know.
No, but I'm just thinking of people who are. Well, no, okay. Tell me.
Why don't we talk privately afterwards?
No. I'm just suggesting people who are. All I'm saying is people who do that kind of thing. I know Paul Clark does that kind of thing. Not too many people in the BBC do that kind of thing. But I think Big Alan does that kind of thing. Anyway, sure, I'll tell you what. Give us a wee ring, and later on, I'll suggest all kinds of things. Okay, love.
Sure.
Okay, give us a wee ring later on, and I'll have a wee chat to you about it and suggest various people to contact. What do you want? Somebody like me?
You see?
By Charlotte McKay.
Yes, you see. Well, what about call 2?
Call 2? I'm afraid to take it. Hello, good morning, call 2.
Is that Gerry?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Gerry. Could I promote an event somewhat nearer than that last one?
Uh-huh.
It's a winter woolly walk for the Northern Ireland Cancer Fund for Children.
Uh-huh.
It's Sunday the 25th.
Uh-huh.
And the walks are at Crawfordsburn Country Park,
Yes.
Hillsborough Forest Park, and Tullymore Forest Park.
Okay, when is this going to happen?
Will you be going to it?
I don't know. When is it?
I just told you, the 25th of February.
There's no need to jump down my throat, you know.
Well, you usually are quite abrupt with me.
No, I'm sorry. I've got a very slow, very quick attention span.
Yeah, okay.
Very short. Sean, I'm going to hand you over to Sean. I want to ask Sean. I want you to
Why?
Sean. No, because I want you to tell me where this man is from.
Oh, right.
From his, you've got an unusual accent. It's
Sean
very nice.
knows me very well.
Oh, does he? Do you?
Yeah.
This is.
Has this man been in America, or has he been in England?
I'm Sir Richard Rock.
This man.
Sir Richard Rock?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Gerry, you had a bit of crack yesterday. You were doing the impersonations.
Yes.
To try and extol the virtues of Derry.
Yes.
What about Sean and you doing, let me see, Sean Connery and G-Mac?
Well, I don't know. Can you do Sean Connery?
No, he wants to do G-Mac. You can hear that, can't you?
No, I don't want to do G-Mac.
Yeah, you do. You're working on him, sir. You're working on him already.
I can do Sean Connery as well.
Go ahead.
No, I don't want to.
Well, you can't expect us to do this if you don't want to.
Well, look, what do we pay our license fee for?
Oh, putting the gun to the head here.
Yeah, right.
All right, then. Well, I can't do. Can you do a Sean Connery, Sean?
Me in here?
Yeah, yes, you're in there. Can you do a Sean Connery? I've never heard you doing Sean Connery.
Never even tried him. No,
very easy. Most people do Sean Connery.
Well, lead us into it. Yeah. Everybody they do the same thing, don't they, Sean?
Yeah, Sean Connery.
Is that it there?
Yeah, Sean. Sean used to say, I used to support Celtic, but then I supported Rangers.
No, but try Sean Connery.
That's who I'm trying to do. You cheeky blurt.
Well, you already do G-Mac.
Yeah.
G-Mac?
Yeah, G-Mac's pretty easy to do.
He's pretty easy to do.
Yeah, okay.
He's a bit like the Pocket Racket.
The Pocket Racket?
Yeah.
Wayne McCullough.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to Wayne? Wayne was
don't
good.
know.
I liked Wayne, you know.
Do you?
All right, then here, let us work at that. We can't do a Sean Connery, I'm afraid.
Well, what about Roy Walker and G-Mac?
Well, we could probably do that, Roy.
Yeah.
Roy, I'm on great demand since I won the Open. I'm really traveling. My eyes are sticking out of my head. Really, I'm so tired. Across so many time zones. You got any tips for me?
Who's involved? In
you're not listening.
Who's involved? Are you involved with that man?
Yeah, if you pay attention, you would know.
But are you and that man doing this? Sir
No, you're
Richard?
supposed to be Roy Walker
Are you
now.
and Sir Richard doing it?
He's supposed to be doing Roy.
You're supposed to be doing Roy
Well, what am I
Walker.
supposed to do, Roy, for? I didn't know. Why didn't you tell me?
Well, I know what you've been
I'm
on
having
plenty.
a little bit of problem here with my putting. Everything seems to go into the right.
But I know that you've had some experience on celebrity cruises. I know you've been down the Orinoco, and you've been down the Nile, and down the Amazon. And I was just wondering, how do you pass the time? I can't really understand what a person does during one of those cruises. I believe you and Mr. Anderson had some experience on cruises. I believe Mr. Anderson locked himself in his cabin for 2 weeks and wouldn't speak to anyone.
That's right. That's right. You wouldn't come out. Everyone was saying, "Where's Gerry Anderson? Is this the Gerry Anderson ghost cruise?" They couldn't see him.
Well, why do you mix a lot with the people when you get on a cruise?
Well, I try to. Yeah, I go around. I just introduce myself to people. And
Do you play
sit down,
cards with them?
have
Play
a little-
cards with them?
Have a little drink with them and try and find out what part of Belfast they're from. You know, 'cause it's nice, you know, Gerry. It's nice meeting people from home. You know, I've been away a lot, you know. And so then when you get a situation like that on a boat, you know, I like to talk to people, but not like you. You sat in your little cabin all day long.
I understand you sat in my arse. Is that what you're trying to say, really? That's what you meant to really say.
Well, I wouldn't like to say it. Here, I want to ask you two guys something now that you're there. I'm told there's a cinema in Belfast.
Yeah.
It's called the QFT.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't sell that old popcorn stuff, and it's very classy.
Do you know what you can get there?
You can get drink there.
Yes. You can get a glass of wine. I used to go there, you know.
And beer. And beer as well.
Yeah, do you know what's
No popcorn.
No
No
popcorn.
popcorn.
Good,
No, it's
I like
great.
that.
You should go there. It's great because I went there one time and the movie started at 9:15, but I thought it started at 7:30. So I arrived there at 8. You see, about 8:15. And I said, "What time does the movie start at?" And he said, 9:15. I said, "Oh my God." I said, "Well, what'll I do?" He said, "Why don't you go and have a drink?" By the time I did the movie, I was tubed.
Marvelous.
I had about 5 glasses of wine. It was
Ach, you
great.
did not.
It did.
3/4 an hour?
An hour. You know,
Was it a French film, Gerry?
No, it wasn't. Go away
An
now.
art film?
Go away, Sir Richard Rock.
Good luck, Gerry. God bless you.
Good luck. Bye. Bye.
He's in another planet.
He's not with us.
No, he's not with us.
I think it's best to humour those people. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers coming to Dublin, I think. Not Belfast, of course. Sometime during June. I'm going to be at that. Or maybe it's July, I don't know.
Hoover.
I know the release. Do you know what I noticed? You haven't told me the release. And do you know what I'm going to tell you why? Because I know I've been told when that was released.
It was.
And the reason, before I go on any further, and I remember now that I went to see it the day it was released.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, come on, tell me. What time did I tell you? What time did I tell you I went home on?
12th.
Okay,
yeah.
when it was released.
It had an American on the 9th of... A limited release date on the 9th of November, then general release on November the 11th. And you flew home on the 12th.
I rest my case.
Yeah, you went... You come off it. I don't believe you.
I didn't remember that I went the night before, but obviously it must have been.
Yeah.
No, but you know what happens? You're going home the next day, you've got all your packing done.
Yeah, and you were in the movies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go to the movies.
I
remember what I did. Will I tell you what I did? Will I tell you what I did?
What time did you fly out at?
I don't remember. I don't recall. I flew out the next day.
Yeah,
right?
what time?
What time?
All right,
7:30.
you flew out the next day then, all right.
7:30 at
Right,
night,
okay,
the next day.
Okay, right.
The day before,
So what
you've
did
all
you
your
do
stuff done.
Right.
And we went out for a meal, and all the rest of them wanted to go for a drink.
And what?
I had a bottle of wine in me.
Yeah.
It was 10 o'clock at night, so I said, no, I don't want any more to drink because I'll have a hangover tomorrow. And it's always a mistake to go on a plane dehydrated. So I said, I'll just go to the movie. Anyone want to go to the movies? He said, no. All right. I said, go away and get full, you alcoholics. So I went to the movie myself.
No.
No?
I'm not buying. No, I'm not married to that at all.
All right, then.
No.
Suit yourself.
Yeah.
I'm going to play a Christmas song now. Do you know why?
Yeah.
Because I found this song last Christmas by Mary Chapin Carpenter. And I loved the song. And I came across it again this morning and I said, I'd love to play that again. And I said to myself, well, why don't you play it again?
Yeah,
And
why
I said,
should
"Because-"
you just play Christmas songs at Christmas?
Exactly. That's what I said to myself. And I said, why shouldn't I play this? It's a nice song.
Do you know that when a child is born is not a Christmas song?
I would have guessed
Did
that.
you know that?
Uh-huh.
It's just, it was released at that particular time. People picked up on it, but it's just about a child being born.
I know that. I know it's about a child being born. That's why it's called A Child Is Born.
People think it's about the Saviour. It's not.
The Saviour.
It's not.
Michelle writes to me and she said, I watched that first Billy play on Sunday night. I had tried to watch it 30 years ago, but when it came to the scene when Billy and his posh girlfriend are about to have a bit of, how's your father, is your mother still working? The TV was instantly switched over. I was only 13 at the time and my parents did not allow me to watch such dirt, and rightly so. The same thing happened with Ryan's daughter. When I got to the naughty bit, the TV was turned over and then back about half an hour later when I had lost track of the entire movie. I finally bought the video of that film about 10 years later, Ryan's daughter, to find out what the big deal was. Nothing happened at all. How disappointing. Get a blue movie, I say. You won't be disappointed then. Anyway, back to the Billy play. You know Billy's mate? I can't remember his name. Colm Convey was his real name, whom my wee mate, John Hewitt, God rest him, beat the crap out of? Yes, well, you know. His girlfriend, the sort of slapper, wearing the shiny clothes. I wasn't impressed by her accent. No, I wasn't impressed by her accent either because she was obviously a person who had been to drama school in England and was trying to speak Belfast and forgot every once in a while that there were certain words she couldn't say. I think she was originally from Belfast, but she had obviously been to elocution lessons because she couldn't say you right. It was more like yo, yo. Watch that first scene with her shouting at Billy's mate, yo, hey, you! Do you hear what I'm talking about? Suffice to say, well, there were no voice coaches in those days. Well, it wasn't too bad, to be honest now. It was just the odd one. You can spot the Rada people every now and again, although you couldn't spot, even every once in a while, Kenneth Branagh slipped out a syllable that wasn't quite right. But you didn't, on the overall scheme of things, it was fine. And regarding Billy's girlfriend and her mother, their acting was woeful. Well, that was pretty bad. Billy's girlfriend wasn't great, but the mother was pretty bad. And the reason why the mother was pretty bad is because she obviously had never probably done any television acting. She was acting for the theatre, and she was saying things like, put the television on, John. Put the television on there, John.
Was she the woman that died?
No. No, she lived the whole way through.
Oh. Well, who was the woman that died? That he went up and he fell down the bedside crying?
Billy's mother.
That was Billy's mother.
He was going with the insurance man. How's your mother's your insurance man still working?
Oh, I see.
Yes, indeed. James Ellis didn't.
And she loved the insurance man. And
well, how can you tell? I think she loved him, yeah, because James Ellis was showing her no attention.
Billy roared at his father.
Billy seemed to roar at everybody.
Yeah, I remember that.
Whenever he got a chance, he roared at whoever came in the room. He was very repressed. He couldn't express his feelings, much like yourself in many ways.
There's a wee call on one.
Oh, I'm happy to take it. Hello, good morning, little call on one.
Good morning, Gerry.
How are you today?
I'm all right. Well, bit of a cough, but I'm all right. So I've got
dear.
this wee poem written for you along the street.
What kind of a poem is this?
It's a poem. It's quite romantic.
What's it about?
It's about going along a street and seeing somebody you know. You know the way you go through Belfast and you wouldn't see a soul, you know? But this is about seeing somebody that you like.
Okay, right. Okay. And you wrote this yourself, of course.
Yes, I did, Gerry.
What was the inspiration of it? Going down the street and meeting somebody you know?
It was when I'm in Belfast, and I'm used to work in Belfast,
Mm-hmm.
in River House and Churchill House.
Where was that now?
Well, River House is in High Street.
Okay.
Churchill House was in Victoria Square, but
What kind of places?
down.
What kind of places were they? Were they kind of civil service
Civil
places?
servants.
All right. Okay.
Well, I worked on the 7th floor and the 8th floor in River House, and then I worked on the 17th floor in Churchill House.
What an exciting life you've led.
Pardon?
What an exciting life you've led.
Well, it was different. Anyway, Gerry, I hope you like this.
Hold on a minute. You and I talked before.
I have talked to you before.
Well, have you written much more since that?
I've written loads, Gerry, but I sent them to the Gallery Press in Dublin, but Peter Falloon wasn't interested. He said it wasn't contemporary enough.
No, no sex in it.
What?
No sex in it, probably. That's what they're like.
I don't know.
All right, go ahead then. Read
All right,
for me.
along the street.
All right.
How strong, how sweet is the gentle wind, cooling our cheek as we walk along this busy, bustling street. And should we chance to see a long-lost lover, that's romantic, but our hearts will pound a little bit faster, then our feet will slowly go to meet his familiar favourite face, emerging from our almost forgotten slippery past. Then as Cupid's tiny arrows pierce, we face the sturdy, stinging slings the daytime task unwittingly brings. How strong, how sweet along the street of lovely illusions and daytime dreaming are the vast vulnerable human beings we've yet to meet. And when we see a familiar face, our hearts will thump, our hearts will race. We will call out their name, and as they turn to smile at us, our lives will never be the same. Along again as we go down a busy street, we could hold strong hands, and oh how fleet would be our racing, pacing feet. That's it, Gerry.
That's really, really good.
I don't read very well. Right.
No, you read well enough. That's really good. You've got a talent there.
Thank you.
Well, that's lovely. Thank you very much.
Not at all, Gerry, and I hope you like. Sorry, I had a bit of a cough, so I probably didn't read it so well.
No, you read it fine. You keep writing, okay?
I will indeed, Gerry. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good morning.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. This is not the one I want to play at all, for God's sake. What's wrong with these people?
That sounded all right.
It's your fault.
That sounded good.
Didn't sound good at all.
There's been another request for another seasick song. Does Seasick sing Sonny?
Sonny, yesterday my life.
Does he? On that particular CD?
I don't think he does, you know.
Can you check it?
I'm checking it.
Does he sing? Is that Seasick?
Why is it doing this?
Is that him?
This is not the song I want. Why is it? I see what's wrong here. What's wrong is that these tracks have been incorrectly. This is the one I want.
Who is it?
Mary Chapin Carpenter. I just love this song. It's called Christmas Time in the City. Have a listen to this.
Well, I walked to town in the pouring rain, paid my fare and I rode that train to the station under the avenue, hit the air at the stroke of noon. At the cross streets where I staked my claim, I played in tune with the winter rain. collecting dimes and dollar bills, while the noisy traffic played the fills. And it's Christmas time in the city, when the air is filled with cheer, and the storefronts look this pretty only once a year. Well, the vendors huddled and the taxis honked as I played for change beneath a neon clock that was dressed up looking like a Christmas tree, blinking down on that busy street. When the crowd thinned out and the rain had quit and my fingers felt cold and stiff, I took their money and I closed my case and I headed back towards home again. And it's Christmas time in the city, when the air is filled with cheer, and the storefronts look this pretty only once a year. As I walked back to the subway stairs, I had $28 and change for fare. It was an old bag lady with an outstretched hand and a small Salvation Army band, playing Angels We Have Heard on High, the first Noel, no holy night. I folded up $1 bill and I tucked it down into the till. And it's Christmas time in the city, when the air is filled with cheer, and the storefronts look this pretty only once a year. And it's Christmas time in the city, when the air is filled with cheer, and the storefronts look this pretty only once a year. Christmas time in the city.
Oh, I just love that song. It's called Christmas Time in the City. That's Mary Chapin Carpenter. Do you remember a number of years ago, she lived in Donegal for a while and she used to contact this programme?
Yes.
She used to listen to this programme. She used to send me wee things, little messages.
I was ever so jealous.
You were. I remember at the time you found it very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, knowing she was listening to you. I didn't like
She never heard you.
No.
She never mentioned you at all. She only mentioned me. I think we had a connection.
Did you ever hear of a guy called C.W. Stone King?
Yes,
Australian
indeed. Yes, indeed.
blues singer.
Yes, indeed. He was here not so long ago.
Could you play something?
No. Great show yesterday, kid. Tommy, my cat, looked at me with his little sincere feline face and he said, "My heart goes out to Mr. Coyle, suffering from severe chronic ocular trouble, and his eyes are sore as well." Tommy unrolled an old-aged faded parchment, which gave him permission to drive geese up the stairs at Stormont, and said, "This coming year is chock-a-block with anniversaries. There's, of course, the signing of the Ulster Covenant, the sinking of the Titanic, sponsored by the BIC, the 1916 excitement at the post office in Dublin, sponsored by Murphy Stout and O'Toole's Pig Cheeks, and the big one on the 1st of September. Jackie Fullerton will be 100 years old. Let's hear it for Ballymena's finest, I yelled. Jackie has come a long way since he first played football on the village green with the pig's bladder. Jackie Fullerton is a legend, cried Tommy. Proved time and time again that no matter how hard you try, you never quite get it right. Remember his words at Windsor Park, I giggled. Foyle of the Glentorn keeper has run amok in the 6-yard box, flapping his arms ineffectually, like a headless chicken. Tommy laughed and said, "My favourite Jackie bite is, Lennon has his head between his knees, but I don't think he'll find the ball there." Old Jackie Fullerton, I said, it seems like only yesterday he was playing football on the street wearing only his underpants. It was only yesterday, said Tommy. Jackie sold the nurse a dummy and escaped from secure accommodation, dribbled his way through the main gate, nutmegged a policeman and kicked an empty tin of coke through Easton's window. Then Jackie pulled his cimet over his head and said, "Goal!" and ran into a lamppost. As he was taken away in an ambulance, he sang, "My Way." Tommy stood over it terrified, bound and gagged to Jim Rogers and yelled, "It has come to my attention that you, Jim Rogers, and some of your friends stole the flamingo from the Flamingo Ballroom way back in the day when you could have a good night out for a tanner." Tommy yanked the sock out of Jim's mouth and said, "Confess, Rogers, I have you banged to rights." "Nay, nay, nay," screamed Jim. "You shall never hear from my lips the name of the Flamingo Five." "5 of them, eh? I don't want names. I just want to know one thing about the great Flamingo heist." And said, "All I want to know is how you get it out. 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 Out."
Some do marijuana, some do dope, that's what they do just to cope. Some do ecstasy or cocaine, that's what they do to lose their brain. But no, not us, where we come from. We just do the lambeg drum, the lambeg drum, the lambeg drum. We just do the lambeg drum. For their facts, hallucinations just for kicks. Some do tubs to get up high, and some do jobs to reach the sky. But no, not us, we come from. We just do the lambeg drum, the lambeg drum, the lambeg drum. We just do the lambeg drum. Vodka, wine or whiskey to get them feeling fine or frisky.
I turned it off.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to do that.
No.
Sometimes when the knobs are at a certain angle, sometimes the light shines upon them and you turn things on. I'm sorry about that. I don't know whether I should turn that on again. I don't think I should. I'll play it again tomorrow. That, of course, is... who is that? That's Willie Drennan from an album called Willie Drennan Wired Up, and that's a track called Lambeg Rant Rap. I'm sorry about that. I was depending on that to kind of, get me excited for the end of the programme, which is coming up soon.
You played one on Friday morning.
Yes.
By Willie and the boys.
Yes.
It was absolutely brilliant. That was the best. To me, it was the best that they've recorded. I don't know what it was.
Tildarg.
I don't know. It was great.
Instrumental?
Yeah.
I'll play that again then, because I thought that was good too.
Oh, yes.
You see the inspiration here? Hold on a second, I'll get this.
I think they've got it with this one.
Oh, absolutely. I think you're... Well, didn't I say that at one stage?
Yeah, but no, you...
I thought...
said it earlier. You said it earlier, and I didn't quite agree with you.
Uh-huh.
But when I heard this one on Friday morning, I said, yes, they have arrived. That they've got a sound. That's it now.
Well, I think so. It was called Till Dark, and I'm going to play that again now. And I must remind the people that we'll be going away 5 minutes early today, because at 5 minutes to 12, there's a little 5-minute programme, as there is every day this week. It's either called Talking to Billy or Let's Talk About Billy. It's about the Billy Plays. Ordinary people, ordinary listeners, recollections of what that was like when they first saw that programme, or any one of the 3 programmes 30 years ago. And also, a gentleman writes to me and he said there was a 4th in the trilogy. He said there was a 4th programme about Lorna a few years later, probably about 1987. I had no idea that was the case. Do you know about that?
Lorna? No, talking to Lorna?
No.
What?
This is Till Dark. Look, I turned it off again.
Stop it.
Stop it.
What's Lorna on about?
Never you mind. Look, this won't start now, look. This is the way it starts. I'm having very unfortunate luck with this.
I know. Will it last for 3 minutes?
Oh, it'll last far longer than that. But we'll have to turn it off at 5 to 11.
5 to 12 even.
5 to 12, yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Why did you interrupt me like that? When I'm telling lies. Is this the one you're talking about?
I don't think so. Let's get in here. No, there was very heavy lambeg drum in her. might be now.
Well, I kind of like this, you know. It's the kind of thing you would play coming up to 5 to 12.
Yeah, the drums must come in now shortly.
I don't think so. I think you may be disappointed. You may find that this is, well, rather subdued. I did play another one featuring drums.
Yeah.
But it wasn't Willie Drennan. It was somebody else.
I don't think that's the tune I hear Friday morning.
Well, do you know anything more about it? Can you describe it to me in any other great detail? Any other little snippet about it that might help me identify it? It wasn't this. This is boring, isn't it?
That's no. What else have you got there with the drum in her?
What else have I got here with the drum in it?
Yeah,
well, nearly everything. Well, I don't think we have time to go through the entire album. Why don't you take this album home with you, listen to it, select the one that you like, and then tell me.
Drennan's?
Yes. This is a track called Till Dark. As a matter of fact, this is Woolie's favourite track himself.
Yeah,
he told me this himself.
Is Woolie a lambic drum player?
I don't think so.
What does Woolie play?
I think he plays all kinds of things, but I don't think he plays the lambic drum, but I'm willing to be corrected.
No,
this is more of a mantra than anything else.
It needs something.
This is no good for you.
No.
This wouldn't take your role.
Here, what's happening there? No. There's somebody.
This wouldn't make you roll up your sleeves and pluck a chicken. No, no way.
Have you nothing else there with a good...
Well, I don't really have time to fiddle about
that.
with anything else because there's only another minute left before we talk to Billy.
No.
You see, you started this. I would never have played that, but you wanted it.
That's... You can see girls and washing their hair and dancing around beside a river.
Naked?
Can't you? Yes.
Yes, I see that. I see that nearly every day. I must move house. But that's all we have time for today. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 10:30. We'll play this a little bit, and then you'll hear more about Billy talk.
Yes, more like a court gesture music, isn't it? Like, you know.
A court gesture?
Yeah. Hey.
That's still not good enough for you, you know. This isn't the one that you want. This isn't what you want. It's too slow, so subdued. But this is from Willie Drennan's album called Wired Up, A Journey to Orion. Orion's daughter.
Thanks, Gerry.